Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Peter Barber. I am primarily a professional opera singer, music producer, and of course a bass vocalist. Today we are returning with SB19. This will be the second video I've done for them, and this is their performance of Mana live on the Wish 107.5 bus. Truly one of my favorite mediums to approach, to analyze and do reactions for these amazing artists. So guys, my goal with this channel is to bring you as much possible value and enjoyment to your listening experience. That is what I'm here for. Mainly educational, partially entertainment as well, because this will be a first-time reaction. But a first-time reaction and analysis. So I will be pausing frequently to talk about the vocal technique and so on. If you would like to watch this video straight through, I will include a link below, and then you can come back to my video if you want to learn a lot more about what's happening. In addition, please do like this video, please subscribe to the channel, please leave a comment for the algorithm. It could be as simple as saying, "Hi Peter," or "SB19 rules," or "Mana is awesome," does not matter. All good for the algorithm. And without further ado, let's dive in, let's analyze this performance that I've been hearing so many good things about, and let's see what happens. Love the wubs.
Wish 107.5.
Hindi pa maiwaga, di mo kilala nung nasa lupa pa. Ni walang alaala, ika'y nang umusta, basta ko 50.
Ngayong nasa lapa, ang nakita ko'y nagbago na.
Ako na may miss, I'd rather have my body commission.
Alright, so just between these first two singers, we have so much contrast in vocal color and like actually what's happening in the physiology at the level of the vocal folds. So this first singer with the red hair here, and I don't know that, I'm still like pretty unfamiliar with the group, definitely don't know all their names yet, so you guys can always, comment below and let me know who I'm talking about when I'm talking about it. I always appreciate that.
7.5.
So we have a significant amount of, not grit to the level of like metal or screamo, but we do have a lot of grit happening in the sound right now. So what that means is that there's turbulence happening to the vocal folds, causing essentially irregular patterns to their phonation. So normally vocal folds kind of look like this when they're coming together, except it's really, really fast. And what you get with turbulence is it's a less efficient, healthy vocal production. So the vocal folds are more kind of smashing against each other. Now this is something you can totally learn how to do. What I say sustainably. So, if you have like a metal singer that can go on tour and sing like that on tour, I would certainly call that sustainable. I hesitate from saying a healthy method of singing because it is objectively against what the kind of healthy vocal production is. Like I just demonstrated the kind of healthy, smooth phonation, but you can totally learn to do it sustainably. So that's I would say what we get with singers here who are experienced and talented and can do it for a long period of time. They can do alternative methods of vocal production in a sustainable way. But that's what's happening here. When you hear grit in the sound, that means there's a little bit of turbulence, a little bit of irregularity happening as to how it relates to the actual oscillation of the vocal folds.
107.5.
Hindi pa maiwaga, di mo kilala nung nasa lupa pa. Ni walang alaala, ika'y nang umusta, basta ko 50.
What it also does is, if there's turbulence to the sound, especially when the false vocal folds are involved, it makes it sound much lower than it actually is. So this singer is singing up to C#4 here, which is not a high note, but if I do it in my voice, it's like that high. And it sounds almost more like it's an octave lower because of the turbulence. But believe it or not, this singer is singing the pitches. But because there's grit in the sound, it doesn't sound high, it sounds much lower. Often, again, with the metal and like hard rock singers, when they have all the grit in the sound, think of a group like Five Finger Death Punch. I don't know if you know them.
Bad company, today I die.
when their singer, sometimes when he is singing with that really gritty sound, he's actually singing pretty darn high, especially because I think he's naturally a pretty low-voiced person. But it doesn't sound high at all because of all that grit and turbulence happening. Because he's not singing in the, it almost sounds like he's singing in the bass register because he's not going, he's not singing that low. He's singing an octave higher than that. It's really deceptive. It's actually, even in real time, for my ear, it just gets tricked over and over again, but it really is that high. F#4. So now we have a totally different kind of singing happening here, where there is a very clean, efficient phonation going on. So in this case, with this second singer, the folds are actually oscillating quite normally. There's no grit in the sound. It's relatively efficient, meaning there's not very much air escaping through the vocal folds beyond what's needed for phonation. So it's a great example of, two radically different singers. Now, the second singer is singing a little bit higher. First singer went up to C#4, second singer a perfect fourth higher up to F#4. So they are operating in slightly different ranges here, but not drastically different. And it sounds much higher. Even though it's just a little bit higher, it sounds much higher because of the difference in vocal production. Okay, that final pitch, he finally did a note that was really short, but it was pure, and you could actually hear the tone in an undeceptive way. So that's what he was singing. F#3, right? So if he had been singing an octave, like in the octave I demonstrated earlier, the lower one, if he had been singing that earlier, it would have been, but it's not. It's deep. It's crazy deceptive. It's really interesting. All right, so this singer that just came in, so also up to F#4, and also adopting a very efficient, healthy, non-breathy vocal production here. And then we have this front right singer joining in on some kind of like echo with front left singer. Let me try to get a beat on what he's doing. Also an efficient use, nothing, not going, this really is like an echo effect, so not going for like a powerful solo kind of attack like the lead is. Yeah, really more of like an echo. I'm gonna wait till the drop. Okay, so no, just all F#4. So F#4 is, pretty high chest range for any voice type, but it's a chest note that is should be very manageable for a tenor. It is definitely getting towards the higher side for a baritone, and it is very high for a bass voice. So just to kind of, so you can tell, like these singers all, it seems like the front left singer, even though he was singing in a lower range slightly than the rest of them, still probably baritone, high baritone. Hard to say for sure. I mean, they're operating in a very small vocal range at this point, but it sounds like the other four, or at least the three gentlemen in the back, are all really comfortable in the tenor range, singing just full lines of those F sharps. Like that would be very uncomfortable for me unless I was like super warmed up. But I don't want to be, as a bass, I don't want to be singing a bunch of F sharps in pure chest voice because it's super high. something a little higher. So minor third and the F sharp. So that's up to a high A. It's still very easy. So like definitely very, very comfortable in high tenor range for this singer. Like maintaining pure chest voice, no strain whatsoever. And A4, I mean, that's a high A. That is a high note to sing for any voice type. Any male voice type. Easy. Little breakdown. There's also like a pretty epic production too. I'm really only commenting on the vocals here, even though I have a pretty extensive background in music production. But because there's 5 singers to analyze, so that's really where I want my focus to be. But it's funny, there was a build-up a bit ago. I'm going to go back and then skip forward. The build-up to this chorus, it almost feels like it's about to do like a heavy electronic drop, the way the drum, everything is kind of revving up. But then we don't. It just goes into kind of, it's more like a vocal drop. It like goes into this chorus where it's but it sounds like it's going into like a heavy like drum electronic drop. Right here. So it's kind of like a fake out, right? Just kind of like a little fake. Oh, just did a nice little spit on my microphone. Heck yeah. I'm gonna skip forward again to this this breakdown.
Yo, here we go. Listen.
A pretty extensive breakdown. I would think this seems like a group that would do choreography in a live performance. Correct me if I'm wrong, SB19 fans, but it seems like they would have a well choreographed dance breakdown during this section, or if not them, someone on stage would be dancing. It just feels like it was built in for a dance break.
Listen. Di ko na marinig sinasabi nyo, di na nga umaabot dito sa kinalalagyan ko. Ingay pa ng katabi kong aeroplano, get turbo, turning on the nitro.
So this is cool. This is like almost a mix between rapping and singing, because the cadential sequence of the words, the prosody of the language feels like closer to rapping, but then generally rapping is not on pitch, whereas there's very specific pitch and tone.
Di ko na marinig sinasabi nyo, di na nga umaabot dito sa kinalalagyan ko.
So C sharp 4, D4.
Ingay pa ng katabi kong aeroplano.
Definitely, okay, another tenor. Because just rap, like essentially rap singing all the way up to F sharp 4. And this singer's going back and forth between, again, the very pure method of vocal production, very efficient sound, no air escaping, but for like specific words, and of course I don't know what the words mean, but for specific words, adopting more grit in the sound, putting growl, even using a bit of false fold phonation, which is when it sounds more guttural, because it really is. It comes from a slightly deeper place in the pharynx, or in the vocal tract. So we get like very pure efficiency with like an intense delivery, but then also like split seconds of almost like growl, where the false vocal folds are actually activated. I'm sure to accentuate the language.
Listen. Di ko na marinig sinasabi nyo, di na nga umaabot dito sa kinalalagyan ko. Ingay pa ng katabi.
Like the start of that, I don't know what he says, but the first 2 syllables of what he just said had that like false fold, deep grit.
Marinig sinasabi nyo, di na nga umaabot dito sa kinalalagyan ko. Ingay pa ng katabi kong aeroplano, get turbo, turning on the nitro. Sumpa palayo, di na hihinto.
Oh, hold on. The front left singer was singing a harmony, but it sounds like the last note just completely cuts out. You guys notice that? That's super weird. Well, so bottom left singer does So now we know this singer can sing down to an F sharp, but it's really weird because the sound completely cuts out when he goes down there.
I know I get turbo turning on the nitro.
It's just gone. So I don't know if that means he mouthed it or if they cut it out like later in post-production or something, but I mean the sound just completely stops.
I know I get turbo turning on the nitro.
Even though he is, again, it looks like he's singing the word.
I get turbo turning on the nitro.
And then he sings that one, hihinto, just for a split second, but he sings that F sharp too, there for a split second. So I don't know what's happening there, but you guys noticed that. So just, I don't know. I generally don't know if it's a post-production thing or if he just mouthed the word and didn't sing that F sharp too, but he did it on the second time, so clearly he can sing an F sharp too. Very odd, very odd.
I was floating here cause I'm grounded, chillin'. Weren't you calling for so we're not dead? Wala na bang bago?
I do like this, I like the harmonic change in this little bridge before the chorus. It's cool. Good transition.
Wala na bang bago? Di na ba natuto? Sa akin na hindi.
Yeah, so baritone, low, we'll call low baritone. Does not sound like a bass to me in timbre or kind of bass voice. Generally it'll be nice and open down around that F sharp, whereas this singer sounds a little bit like it gets kind of breathier and breathier down towards the F sharp. Oh, like it should be very open. It's very open and free for a bass voice generally. For baritones, usually a down F sharp 2. Most baritones can sing an F sharp 2, but it gets a little breathy and kind of thinned out.
Hindi problema kung di nyo pa rin nakikita. Tinataglay ko ang biyayang hindi nyo
Another fake out.
Manananggal, langit, lupa, magsasama basta pa maniwala.
You notice how this singer on the bottom left here too is holding the headphones in. I've only pointed this out maybe once, another time in video, usually, actually always during live performance. Singers do that so that they can hear what they're getting right now when they're singing in this setting is they've got, instead of in-ear microphones like you'd have when performing, because it just looks aesthetically better on stage, like doing choreography and stuff, in this setting they have over-ear mics, but they're hearing themselves and they're hearing all the other singers and the instrumentals in real time so that they can balance, because it is very difficult to sing perfectly in tune in a live setting, in a studio setting like this. It's not so hard in like a choir setting where there's no interference, there's no headphones. Usually you're standing, you've got a direct line of hearing to the other singers. In a weird kind of artificial setting like this, you really want to have those in-ear or over-ear mics to hear exactly what's happening, because it's difficult to do. It's easy to get messed up. So what he's doing here is he's just pressing them in a little tighter so he has he can hear a bit clearer what's happening in the mix, and he can adjust his own singing accordingly. Because clearly he's really just honing in and trying to nail these lower harmonies here. It's probably because it's not in a really strong part of his voice. It's one thing, for all the other guys, they can sing out, they can sing loud, they can hear themselves very clearly. But for the singer on the bottom left who's singing in a much quieter part of his range, it's more difficult to hear himself. So he's just being like really trying to tune in and make sure he's in tune there. Oh, we got a high A from this other singer here. Also easy. And now this singer used a technique where, because that high A was going to be a lot louder than the rest of the range, because that's getting, pulling the chest voice pretty high, he pulls his mouth away from the microphone so it doesn't like overload the system. Watch this. And so then that high note sounds even quieter than the stuff that's much lower. Wait. Much lower than he finishes this phrase on a B3. Much, much, much quieter in his range than the high A, but because he used the microphone technique, it actually sounds louder. Little breakdown. Tough to do choreo on the Wish bus. A little high head voice. C sharp 5, so tenor high C, in a lighter head voice, not in a full chest mechanism. Singer, back right. But a nice head voice, nice falsetto there.
Y'all ready?
Oh boy.
Check.
Kaya kinakatakutan, bakit mo ay di ko muna lang. Pasensya ko kung subukan. Sige lang, sige, sige, wag nakakatulos ka.
It's a pretty crazy song. So now he is singing lower in his range. Down to C sharp 3 here. So lower than how he started singing. I kept commenting on how I was saying it was higher than what we thought. Here there's no grit in the sound, so we're getting a pure tone. Around C sharp 3. With a kind of breathy, like a little bit over darkened kind of sound. I'm sure used for effect here. What note is that? Sometimes my brain gets thrown off. Okay, E5. E5. There it is. I like how, just one comment on the background production, I really like how much it lines up with the singing. Like there's a lot of big drum hits and other instrumental hits that line up to when they're doing their biggest vocal hits as a group. And so it just kind of makes for a nice cohesive ensemble movement. Like, there's like this big kick in the background when they all do that same kind of thing vocally. So, it is hard to tell when the sound is compressed, and even though it's live, there are still some audio effects happening, like there's compression happening, and there's of course blending and EQing and stuff like that all happening. There's not tuning happening, so they're singing very well in tune, but it's hard to tell if a singer has a good register shift, or they're strong in their upper chest voice and they're strong in their mixed voice. It can be difficult to tell the technique because usually volume is a good indicator, but we really don't have any idea about volume in this kind of setting. So it's tough to tell what this singer in the back is actually doing. It sounds, I mean, it doesn't sound like there's a shift during that slide, so it sounds like it's like a very well-connected chest-dominant mixed voice. But a high E, a C5 is like absurdly high for like pure chest, if that's even possible for a biological male voice. So I'm not sure. I'm gonna, if I had to get off of that, if I had to guess, I would say it's a very well-connected, well-supported mixed voice. I don't know though. I haven't heard this singer enough to know. It is possible that it's pure chest, but I would have to hear more of this singer. Maybe you guys know more about his upper range than I do. I think you got up to about an A5 there in that falsetto. Having a good old time. So again, I mean, maybe another dance breakdown. It just feels like there's choreo. There should be choreo for this song, you know? Choreo, short for choreography, aka dancing.
1, 2, 3, let's go!
Dancing in this case. Choreography doesn't always mean dancing. Okay, okay. F#4, A4, B4, C#5. The top one sounds a little bit like a lighter mechanism, maybe a mix, but I think the singer probably can sing that high in chest voice. Given how easy the high A was earlier for him, so again, it's really tough to tell in this setting. D5.
Wish exclusive on the Wish 107.5.
That was awesome. Heck yeah. Okay, I get the hype. I get the hype. That was a really cool song. If I recall, Mappa was the last one I did, and it was pretty radically different, I think. I can't really remember what that one sounded like off the top of my head because I only listened to it once. But it's cool though. We got a lot of variety here as far as vocal color. We got, you know, this lower, you know, low baritonal breathy quality from the singer in the front left. We got a lot of tenor action. We got some really high notes. We got a few moments in really high head voice falsetto from the guys in the back. Some really high, potentially some extremely high chest notes, although the jury's a little bit out on whether it was mixed or not. We got a wide breadth of the singing and the rapping, all kind of, and the mix of the two coming together. Some really cool breakdowns. It was exciting. It changed. You know, there wasn't a dull moment. Overall, a lot of fun to listen to and break down. I think these guys are super talented, and it looks like they have a good time as well, which is always important. So that's it. That was my first time take on SB19's Mana live on the Wish 107.5 Bus. Guys, I hope you learned something. That really is my goal here. I hope, you know, I really am trying to help you guys appreciate all the talent that is out there in the world and give you some insider, you know, give you the inside trading scoop on how they do what they do and why knowing how they do what they do doesn't take away from it, but it actually adds to it, makes you appreciate it more. So I hope you guys learned something. If you did, please do consider joining my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. It's the best possible way to support me as an artist and creator, for real, best possible way. And we have a lot of fun. My Patreon family is becoming a very tight-knit community. There's almost 250 people in there now, so it's really thriving in the private Discord server and everywhere else. So please do consider joining my Patreon to support me. And otherwise, please like, subscribe, bell for notification, leave a comment for the algorithm, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.